Welcome back, y'all. Trevor Snyder, and this is our adventure through climate change, right? I mean, we're joining it together, and we're seeing what's happening. We have my biases to start us off and to converse with, and you guys can comment down below on what you think, if I'm an idiot or what. But this one today, it's actually let's move on over here. It's actually it's a CNN piece, and it was done 4 months ago. It's called "Deeply Concerning to Scientists: Greenland's Ice is Rapidly Melting in Warm Weather." Hopefully, they tell us why this is deeply concerning, and we can figure that out. So let's play and listen.
Tonight, 7.2 million Olympic-sized swimming pools full of water. That is how much ice melted in Greenland in just 3 days this week during the unprecedented global heat wave. It's enough to cover the entire state of West Virginia with a foot of water. Renee Marsh is out front in Greenland.
It's a lot of water.
Off the coast of northwest Greenland, the water is perfectly still, but puddling on icebergs indicate a transformation is underway. That's the sound of rapid melting, triggered by a few days of unusually warm temperatures. During CNN's first 3 days in northern Greenland, the temperature topped out nearly 10 degrees higher than normal.
It's days like today, warm enough to wear short sleeves, near 60 degrees in Greenland. It's a high melt day when it's this unusually warm, and it's also deeply concerning for scientists.
It definitely worries me. We are at 67 latitude here on top of the world in North Pole. And
I don't know if that guy's clothes look like 60 degrees. I mean, it could be the wind chill makes it that much cooler, but I don't know. Sometimes I don't think they're telling us the whole story.
we could just yesterday, especially not today, but yesterday we could wander around in our t-shirts. That was not really expected.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's basically at the melting point today. As you can see, now it can make snowballs.
At a research site in northeast Greenland, near melt conditions at an elevation of nearly 9,000 feet made what's usually a frozen landing strip inoperable.
They have a problem when it's this soft as the surface is now.
Climate scientist Aslak Grinstead tweeting, "Mini heat wave, negative 1.6 degrees Celsius in the middle of the Greenland ice sheet. Our planned planes are postponed because our skiway is not that good when it is this warm." Unable to fly out, the scientists passed the time playing volleyball in shorts atop the ice sheet. Pre-global warming, Grinstead says temperatures near 32 degrees Fahrenheit at this altitude were unheard of. The National Snow and Ice Data Center tells CNN from July 15th through 17th alone, a melt surge in northern Greenland caused ice sheet runoff of about 6 billion tons of water per day. That's about the volume of 2.4 million Olympic-sized pools. Put another way, enough water to flood the entire state of West Virginia with 1 foot of water in 3 days.
The amount of melt from the ice was to us was very surprising because it was very warm day. You could even hear the ice was just melting in front of our eyes.
Research scientists tell CNN this extent of melt in North Greenland this past week is quite unusual and will contribute to global sea level rise, which impacts coastal communities half a world away.
So Renee, the visuals here are incredible. When you talk about 6 billion tons of water melted every day over those 3 days this week, it is really impossible to sort of comprehend the staggering size of that. The question is there more to come, or is that the worst?
And how quickly are we going to see it a world away? Because they said it's going to... You have to wonder that it goes somewhere, right? You have to assume, I should say, that it goes somewhere. Obviously into the water. It's got to raise the water to some degree, right? I mean, that's 7.2 million Olympic-sized pools. That's a lot of water runoff. I don't know how much we are normally getting. I do know a lot of the river levels that are typically dumping into oceanic pools are just a lot smaller right now. So I don't know.
Well, this is peak melt season, and the answer is yes, there is more to come. The National Snow and Ice Data Center telling CNN that they're expecting another major melt event later on this week, and they actually expect that one to extend to much more of the ice sheet. And Aaron, we've seen it in Europe, many parts of the U.S. there, and even here in Greenland, these heat waves, and we expect to see a lot more of those as the global climate continues to rise. Aaron?
Watch it, right? Okay. Let's go over this. They didn't really, didn't go into any science behind anything. They basically just told us that the climate is changing, that the Greenland's has a lot of ice that's melting. I wonder, it says 7.2 million. I wonder what is average, and maybe we can look that up. Average snow melt in Greenland December. Or wait, let's see, that was 4 months ago, right? So let's say July or August. So, yeah, without doing a whole bunch more research, I don't know what average is. And from my understanding, and I don't know, I'll have to watch another Greenland one, because from my understanding, it seemed to be expanding by a foot every year or something like that, the measurements, and that's very confusing to me. But with that being said, this isn't one of those where I'm going to debate too much. I think observational data is it's a lot more for humans to lean their hat on than non-observational, that they make assumptions about things, which seems to be the case with most climate change. I think we do it on both ways, both sides of the aisle, whatever we believe. We have our biases, and we tend to move data towards that direction. But with this one, I'm not going to, look, it looked like it was melting a lot. There might be a ton of more water. This is one of those things where I'd like to do a little bit more research. Total melt day extent was 7.18 million square miles versus 2020 that was 5.6. So about 1.5 million more square miles. Oh, 5.6 was from 1981. Okay, let me show you guys real quick. I'm reading this Greenland ice sheet today, and 7.18 square miles total melt August 1st, 2020 versus 5.6 was the average between 1981 and 2010. So quite a bit more. The peak one day melt 2020, blah, blah, blah. So 1 day melt was that. I thought this was a 3 day. Total melt day. So it's pretty interesting stuff. Look, okay, it's melting. I just don't know what you want us to do about it and what we're going to change and how much more money we're funneling to this, because the subsidies are getting out of control for this type of stuff. So that's what I kind of have a debate on. Let's if you want to follow this adventure, if you want to adventure with me through climate change, and we are going to do some armchair exploring, I should say, adventuring, send me some stuff in the comments, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Let's have some discussion. I want to know what's going on, and why do we keep throwing money at this like this is the end of the world, and everybody keeps telling us this is the end of the world, and they've been saying it for 100 and something years. Please make sure you're subscribed. Lay down a comment, a like, dislike, whatever, and we'll catch you on the next video.